1969 Chevelle. Or is it 68? I think those were pretty similar back in the day. Brian brought us this fresh suspension setup all the way from Erie, PA. Nice old Malibu. We've got quick performance rear axles, probably a quick performance rear axle. Cool car. Let's get it on the rack. See if we can make it drive straight. Bump steer kit, rack and pinion. Bunch of parts from TRZ. Heck yeah. Nice car. So it is a 1969 Chevelle Malibu. So didn't they just kill the Malibu this year? Man, it's so clean and simple. I like it. High compression big block with aluminum heads. Some nice TRZ parts. Back to basics. Jessel belt drive. Rodix heads. Very nice. Very nice. Let's get this thing up in the air and get the heads on it. Rack and pinion conversion, bump steer. TRZ billet steering arms. Probably some Vikings. Oh, those are TRZs. Those are nice. Single adjustables. Some nice light brakes. Yeah, you started with a pretty clean car, honestly. At least by Ohio and Pennsylvania standards. Turbo 400. Denny's drive shafts, nitrous ready. Denny'sDriveShafts.com. Pretty clean frame. Looks like he's got a good base. Got his frame connectors. That bolt's loose. That bolt's loose. We'll lock those down. He told me he had a lot of hardware that wasn't tightened down because he wasn't sure what I'd have to take apart and put back together. Nice anti-roll bar. Nice install, honestly. Quick performance for the win. QA1 rear dual adjuster. Nice. Very nice combination of components. I like it. Flaming River steering system. Awesome. Not bad at all. Let's get our initial setup done and we will recomp. Check our bump steer while we're at it. Chevelle. Alright, she's all over the place. Square up the back end. Toe, caster camber, everything. We got a lot of positive. Arms are not adjustable, so we're going to be taking a bunch of camber out of the upper arms and add some more caster. The caster's actually pretty even, within 3/10. My toe's a mess, so let's get our baseline, make sure our rack is square. $11.5. 3/4 of an inch difference in length on rod ends. The rack needs to go that way to get it squared up in the chassis. So whenever you have a turnbuckle, you want to have a jam nut and a jam nut. This one's missing the inside jam nut, so we'll fix that. These are left-hand studs, indicated by the hash mark. So that's your left hand, this is your right hand, so I should have bolts in my bolt bin for that. Shouldn't be a big deal to solve. And he actually has some hardware. In the car that I'll grab for the bump steer, and it may have the extra jam nuts in it. These are kind of a high clearance type deal. Now my tie rod ends are within 1/4 of an inch of each other. At least they're better. I will lengthen the other side and square it up a little more. And we'll figure out if our rack is centered. It should be pretty close. Toe out. Toe in. Toe in a lot. Not horrible. 4 degrees towed in. Might be kind of hard to match up, but let's see what we can do. Let's go with a shorter spacer and see if it gets better or worse. High clearance is supposed to be a clearance, but it doesn't clearance. Don't have clearance. Now towed out, we want to be more than that. We want to be somewhere in between this guy and that guy. Looks like I'll have to call up TRZ and order some more of the small shims, because I have a whole bunch of the big shims. Basically out of the small shims now. But we should be able to get this guy dialed in enough. A little bit more. That'll do. Tow in 2.5 degrees. Somewhere between that and the other places where we want to be. One of the shims, but let's see if we can make it work with what we've got. Lift it up by the frame, this. Tow in a lot. Not horrible. 4 degrees towed in. Might be kind of hard to match up, but let's see what we can do. Let's go with a shorter spacer and see if it gets better or worse. Clearance is supposed to be a clearance, but it doesn't clearance. Don't have clearance. have a choice of longer or substantially shorter because I'm missing the intermediates. These joints really fall inboard of the other joints. Let's go shorter and find out. Confusing myself. This is confusing, man. towed out, we want to be more than that. So we want to be somewhere in between this guy and that guy. We can do that. Which ideally would be that guy, but I only have one of those. Close. Let's try this. Call me what you will. Mr. Carter. Mr. Anderson. Looks like I'll have to call up TRZ and order some more of the small shims, because I have a whole bunch of the big shims. Basically out of the small shims now. But we should be able to get this guy dialed in enough. A little bit more, a little bit more. That'll do. What do we do on lift? Toe in 2.5 degrees. Somewhere between that and the other places where we want to be. Was too much. Let's take a thin shim out and see where that puts us. Wrong way. Do that a lot. Ground, 1 degree towed in. I think we'll leave it there. It has a weird dynamic to it. We'll have to figure out how to overcome that. Might just be a problem with the rack being so narrow. Sorry, the rack's not narrow enough. Over here, pivot point here, pivot point here. So the pivot points are completely different places, which creates weird geometry on the travel. I'm not sure it's enough to worry about. It's only like a degree, so it's probably just me being OCD. So if you watch the toe, this is your left front toe, right front toe. Don't worry about caster and camber. I haven't done any of those yet. Dial my shocks all the way soft. This one was at 6 3 for compression and rebound. I actually shortened my upper arms as far as they could go. I'm going to go ahead and lock those down because the axe is square inside the chassis. So I'm going to adjust my squareness with my outer lower arms. I've got those adjusted out to where my pinion angle matches the driveline angle. I'm going to throw a little more, I'm going to drop the pinion a little bit more because under load that pinion's going to rise up. And we're right now right around 2.3 is our driveline angle, and I've matched the axle with that. So the pinion, center line of the pinion, I'm going to put it about 2.6, 2.7. And if I need to go to 3, then I will, but initially for an initial setup, I think this will do just fine. 2.3, 2.1. I'm going to take this one to 2.6, which I'm rating 2.5 now, so once I square it up, I should be right where I want to be. Tighten those down. I got the back end all squared up. Unfortunately, the way the steering linkage is run in this car, I can't just use shims to adjust my caster camber. So I'm going to take some adjustment out of the heim joints on the control arms, on the upper, at least on the driver's side, and try and match it up with the passenger side. But I'll show you what I'm talking about with having clearance to, you know, make adjustments and stuff. The steering shaft's so close to this, like I'd have probably run this lower shaft. Actually, I'd have made a tunnel through the K-rail and brought it up through here, and then I'd make it fit. But there's no room to move this beam across because the steering joint hits it. So normally I would just put shims in here and here to give me the alignment point that I need. Instead, I'm going to have to take the bolt loose, adjust this in or out depending on what I need. In is what I need because I need the camber to come negative, and I need more caster, so that one needs to come in a little more as well. So it is what it is. Got to take it apart, put it back together a few times. Alright, so I made some adjustments to the driver's side upper control arm. It's actually quite a bit better. My caster's dead even now. So my caster's dead even, my toe's acceptable. I'm going to take both upper control arm joints in another turn, maybe two, of both front and rear positions, and that should allow me to even up my camber with the passenger side. When this thing lifts, it goes negative camber, so when it's actually at running height, it's going to be between 0 and -1, and I'm happy with that. That should be a nice, good running place. We'll go from there. So I have all of the negative camber I can put into this side. So we're going to match up. I just did caster sweep. I'm within 3/10 I decide on camber, which is probably enough, close enough. But I'm gonna take the other side positive a little bit to match it up. It's probably an inconsistency in the way the frame is built, or you know, it's a 60-year-old frame, so it might be tweaked a wee bit, but it's nothing that can't be overcome in the control arms. It'll be a minor difference in lengths in the control arms, so it shouldn't be too drastic of a change in geometry. Ideally, we want the control arms to be all the same lengths and the tie rod ends to be all the same lengths, and that way everything cycles the same. But in the name of bringing the alignment into, you know, more square, that way it should still cycle square, at least in my mind it does. So I'm going to add a little of the passenger side, and basically it's just adding, I'm going to add 2 turns on both, which won't change my caster, but will change my camber, and it should put me right where I want to be. And then this one will be done. Back end's all squared up. My rear pinion's where I want it to be for now. My anti-roll bar is set up static. I didn't add any pressure one way or the other. I want to know what it does just straight off the line, and then we can, or he can adjust the anti-roll bar, put a twist in here, take a twist out there, make it do what he wants it to do. Yeah, let me do this real quick, and then we'll be moving on to the next thing, which is a CUDA that I have to go pick up. I was supposed to pick it up on Monday, and I haven't done it yet because I've been busy. I ended up a 10th cross camber, a 10th cross caster, just a touch of toe in. The dynamic on this one does have a little bit of toe out initially, and then it toes in after it gets off the line. I don't think it's enough to worry about. We're going to see how he reacts and see what his feedback is on how the setup is. Let him take it out and make some runs with it, and then we'll make improvements from there. The first setup is always the hardest one because we got to get everything square and everything true, and then after that it's just simple adjustments here and there. It's a lot easier once the initial setup with all these different parts that weren't necessarily meant to work together or put together. This one's really nice. It's bunch of TRZ parts. They've got great stuff. Check them out. Quick performance rear axle, which is always a good choice. Had really good luck with those. We've used those in a few personal products as well. It's a nice car, man. Beautiful build. Way to go. It's time to go have some fun with it now. Well, that's one more race car ready to go down the track. Much better than it was before. Thanks to all of you guys for bringing me your vehicles from so far away. It's really an honor for you guys to let me work on your vehicles. I appreciate you guys. At any rate, get out there, go play, drive fast, in a straight line, win races. Have fun. Thanks for coming along. See you guys on the next one.